Ever dreamt about what you would do with your retirement annuity funds at maturity? Buy a new house, travel, perhaps spoil your grandchildren? Now, you've been contributing for years, and it's an exciting thought to finally enjoy the fruits of your labor. But before you make any plans, I want you to ask yourself this. Do you really understand how Sars taxes your retirement annuity? The hard truth is, most people don't. And if you don't know, it could cost you a lot. See, imagine this. You've been working tirelessly to build your nest egg, only to have it suddenly reduced by taxes. And once the money is gone, it's gone forever. Irrecoverable, vanished. You're left watching your dreams sink before your eyes, or because you weren't aware of the tax trap that was waiting for you. But it doesn't have to be this way. With the right planning and advice, you can avoid this tax trap and keep more of your retirement annuity in your pocket. Now, stay with me as we delve deeper into this issue and find out how you can protect your retirement annuity from the hidden tax trap. I want to start this video by first giving you some understanding as to the concept of a retirement annuity, or what are your options that happens when it comes to maturity. So you've been contributing towards this retirement annuity for a while now, and you will end up with a pool of capital here at maturity. Bearing in mind, maturity of a retirement annuity can start from age 55. So it's any day from age 55 onwards, right? Now, it makes it quite interesting because if your company has a pension fund or you have a provident fund, and let's say your company retirement age, I'm going to use an example, is 60, so not yet at 55, then it might be tempting to access your retirement annuity at 55 because it gives you access to some capital. Now, in certain instances, depending on the value of money that you have in your retirement annuity, you might be able to withdraw all of that in cash. Alternatively, you are able to access 1/3 of this in cash as a lump sum, and the balance of this money must be invested, and you invest that in order to earn an income. And obviously, you can choose that type of income and how the structure works. Now, this particular video is guiding you from a tax perspective what takes place. You might already know that the first portion, the 1/3 amount, has a tax-free amount that's linked to this. Now, I'm going to bring up a tax guide so that I can give you clarity on this. But please make sure when you are using a tax guide that you're using the most latest one. I'm using the latest one as per this particular video, or when this video was screened. So on this tax guide, you can see here, this is a tax guide. It's a free download from the Sars website. Now, what you might be already aware of is that in this particular case, from the 1/3, it used to be 500,000, it's increased to 550, and maybe at the time of you watching this video, it might have increased. So make sure you're looking at the latest tax guide. Notice for this particular tax guide, it says the first 550,000, there's 0% tax. So from that 1/3 portion that we just looked at, if it's less than 550, it means you're not paying any tax, right? And then let's go have a look at this further. From 550 to 770, it's 18%. From 770 to 1,155,000, it jumps up to 27. And anything that's above 1,155,000, it jumps up to 36. Meaning, let's say your 1/3 amount is 2 million. Now that's way over 1,155,000. So SARS will use the last leg when they're doing the tax calculation, right? So make sure you understand that first part, we're talking about the 1/3 element here. Now, you might already know this, that the first portion is going to be tax-free. And what if the pool that you have in your retirement annuity is a small amount? I'm going to use an example again because I want you to get clarity in terms of the figures. I'm making it really easy. So I'm going to use a figure here of 300,000. So, which means when you are taking out 1/3, the 1/3 of 300,000 is 100,000. And the 2/3 that's going to be left behind is 200,000. Now, I'm using an easy figure in this video, and you're going to follow this along when you're doing your own calculation, right, based on your amount. I just want to give you the understanding of this concept. Now, this 100,000, as per the tax table that I've just shown you, it's below 550, which means there's no tax, right? This is a great plus because it's below the tax amount. There's no tax on this, which is great. And it might be tempting to pull this money out. Now, we want to go into the hidden tax trap that most of us are not aware of. So you head into the tax table again. I want you to see how SARS defines this. So notice how the information is written so that you can understand it and you see the way that SARS is applying it. They're saying retirement fund lump sum benefits, right? Retirement fund lump sum benefits. Now we want to understand, what does it mean when they say retirement fund lump sum benefits? So here it says here, retirement lump sum fund benefits consist of lump sums from a pension fund, pension preservation, provident fund, provident preservation, retirement annuity, which means from the perspective of Sars, it does not matter where you are pulling money out. It could be from a retirement annuity, it could be from a pension fund or provident fund. It does not matter where you're pulling money out. They see all those vehicles as retirement fund lump sum capital, right? They see all in the same way. Now, why is there a hidden tax trap here? It's simply this. If you head back to my example, I said to you that, again, based on your situation, let's assume that you are close to a point where you can access this, you're 55 or older, and you have 300,000 that sits inside here. Let me illustrate this on this end. So now you've got a retirement annuity here. This is the RA, and it has capital of 300,000. And let's say you also have a pension fund, or you've got a provident fund that's on this end, pension or provident. And let's say you have a million rand in this one. Get my zeros correct? Yeah, so you've got a million rand inside of that. Now you've got two separate retirement vehicles, but as I just showed you now, for tax purposes, Sars sees all of this as one vehicle, which means if you are going to access some money now, let's say you are accessing 100,000 now, that amount is going to be tax-free. And when at a later stage you want to access money from here, Sars is going to take into account that you took some money before. This is key, so pay careful attention. They are going to take into account that you took some money before. Now I'm going to work with this so that you have an understanding as to how I came about the figure. I'm going to change this slightly, so I'm going to say that the capital here is 3 million. So you have 3 million in a pension fund or provident fund. The 1/3 portion here is a million rand. So 1/3 of 3 million is a million rand, which means from a tax perspective at a later stage, you are now going to pull out money here. You're taking out a million, and you might be under the impression that now Sars is going to tax you on a million rand withdrawal. However, it's not the case, because hidden inside the tax system, and I'll go into the fine print now to show you, Sars is actually going to take into account any money that you had taken before, which means from a tax perspective here, effectively, Sars is going to tax this at 1,100,000. Now, there is a way that Sars does the calculation, and this video is not going to go into the detail because I'm merely wanting to give you awareness. And again, you want to get proper financial planning guidance in order to know that you're making the right choice. But let's go have a look at the hidden fine print, right? So that this helps you to understand and get full clarity of this. Now, notice just below this tax table, it says this section here, where they start talking about a formula, and they can see lump sum or severance Y is equal to. Now it cuts off into the next page, right? So I'm going to move here to the top so that you can see what I'm referring to. And here is this section. Here's the section. So what Sars is saying here is if you had withdrawn any money, and they're using certain dates, right? So if you had taken out any money from retirement, if you had retired from some retirement annuity, pension fund, provident fund, you retired, any money that you had pulled out after October 2007, they're going to take into account, right? And where you see the word aggregate, it means they're going to add that to whatever you're taking now. Then you notice that they've got any withdrawals. So if you had withdrawn from any retirement fund or could be pension fund or provident fund, you pulled out some money, but you didn't actually retire. That's called a withdrawal. If it happened after March 2009, they're taking that into account. If you had a severance, and you received a severance benefit after March 2011, they're taking that into account. When I say taking that into account, just a quick recap, remember, whatever you are going to be accessing now, they're going to take into account money that you had taken before, according to those dates, and they're going to add the two, right? So in my example, it was a million rand, and you had withdrawn 100,000 before, according to this example, and this is how I came to the figure of 1.1 million. Now, this is a very important thing to be mindful of, because when it comes to the tax, you are able to adjust this, right? Remember, it's not about evading. It's not about evading and trying to do the illegal thing. It's about avoiding. So the more you understand the tax rules, the better you can implement it according to your specific set of situation and then reduce the tax accordingly. So I hope the video has been helpful to you. I see a lot of individuals making this particular tax mistake because they're not aware of how the planning is done from Sars perspective. So post a comment below, share with me what has been your key takeaway from this particular video. Have you had an instance where you had withdrawn money previously from a retirement annuity? And what steps are you going to put in place now going forward to ensure that you don't fall into this tax trap? Now, if you haven't already done so, I encourage you to subscribe to the video and give me a thumbs up if you found the video to be insightful. I shall see you in the next video.